Or fight milk. Mine is fight milk. I don't
Fight
know.
milk.
Welcome back, friends. Where we last left off, the party took a much-needed rest in a Feywild that seemingly never grows dark. Upon awakening, or actually, it was halfway through the night. No, upon awakening, Oak gets a visit from a Archfey mentor, friend, watcher, all of the above, and learns some telling information about her parents. Corvus tries to then pick a fight with said Archfey, and Perrin struggles to get the party to figure out what the hell is going on. But eventually, through conversation, breakfast, and I guess the one brain cell collectively being split amongst the five of you for once, you manage to get your acts together, get Perrin nice and happy, the information to him, and set out for the grave. A almost colorless expanse that borders each of the different fey courts, connecting them and allowing this almost no man's land safe haven between the courts and their ire. Now you've taken the time, and under the guidance of not only your Archfey mentor, but several others, have found that the easiest way is to cut straight through the graying, directly through the Autumn Court, through another set of the graying, and into, or no, yeah. No. Is that what I said last time? Pretty sure.
Basically, we were going to cut through the gray,
through
the Autumn Court,
through Autumn,
back,
and then get the winner. For some reason, I flip-flopped how things were in my head, just for a second.
And then more gray, and then I don't know.
But you're going to go through the gray instead of working just around the gray, which again, could potentially do if you really wanted to. You're going to cut straight through the gray, go through the Autumn Court, through another layer of the gray, and then find yourself in the Winter Court with the hopes of saving Oak's sister Ivy, and hopefully meeting up with Owlbear along the way before he does something stupid and gets himself hurt. You find yourselves on the edge as the light begins to turn purplish red colors of sun setting behind you. The way you're meant to go is if that light is at your back, you know you're going the right direction. As you begin to step into the graying, who is leading the pack here?
I think, first off, who knows where we're going?
Well, we sort of navigated by the sun, right? We were just walk directly
away from the sunset.
Yeah.
Correct. This is
like
strictly...
we have a clear like it's not like a navigated, so we know where to go. We just have to go that way.
I think it would make sense for Oak to lead at least at the beginning, because like at least as we start, she'll have some familiarity with the territory and maybe be like, "Don't step on that plant." We're like,
yeah, and I think and Corvus would take second only for the fact that I think Corvus is best as the scout. Will typically take front, but in this case, we'll be behind Oak closely and scouting around to prepare for whatever.
Aaron, Art, Eden, where do you guys fall in the order of things?
Art's probably somewhere near the back, falling behind, probably because he is constantly taking samples.
Okay.
I think Eden will be towards kind of like winged out just a little bit from those leading the point, if that makes sense. I will be flanking just a bit.
Okay. And Perrin, where would you find yourself?
The center of attention. We're on the edge of the Feywild, and we're hanging on a moment of truth.
I have a
Is-
request, GM.
Yes.
Is it possible for me, because we're in the Feywild and Corvus is always weary of it, to just in case have my stillness of mind readied?
Remind me what that does again.
It just lets me use an action to end an effect that makes me charmed or frightened.
So let me ask you this. Are you afraid of what you're walking into?
I am concerned because the Fae have expressed various forms of emotional things, and that is why I want to know if Corvus can basically be like, if something pops off, I want my mind to be clear at all times.
We'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Okay, that's all that matters.
I've taken your request and processing it in the back of my head. But Oak, as you're leading this party, can you roll the first d20 for me, please?
Go ahead, Oak.
That's an 18.
18. Can you roll a d6 for me?
Yeah. That's a 6.
6. Okay. So after a few hours of travel, or what you guys feel like is a few hours, Art still kind of counting with his coins or whatever he's doing? Wait, you were doing coins, and then Corvus was using Corvus was using his spell.
Yes.
Yes, I have the light
spell.
cantrip
It seems like probably about 3 or 4 hours by your combined calculated efforts. You've been traveling through this rather thick combination of brush and bush and tree. Oak leading the way, creating this almost passage. Now the thing is with this, when you're moving, Oak, the way before you opens as you are moving. And so you're taking the time to very carefully make sure and look behind you and to make sure that the colors of the setting sun are at your back before you follow this. The forest having a life of its own and creating what it thinks is the right path for you. You'd know this somewhat. Feywild kind of has this mind of its own and tends to lead you in the direction that you most need. At least the Feywild that you are familiar to. But after a few hours, you find yourself the path opening up into this beautiful clearing in the woods. The hundreds of flowers surrounding a massive singular tree that sits on this small kind of hillock at the center of the space. Now, the colors on the flowers are very muted, very dull. There's almost as if color in general has been seeped out, pulled from this landscape. There's still some that's there, but not enough for you to really figure out, what their origins were. But as you begin to open and move into this clearing, from atop the hill, you can hear the twangs of a lute, and followed soon after by a flute and the soft beating of a drum. And as you guys enter and look up, this tree begins to sway, almost with the beat.
Huh. Would I know anything about, does the music sound familiar, or have I ever heard a legend of don't listen to mysterious music in clearings with tall trees?
Roll a history check. Sure.
That's an 8 total.
An 8 total. You've heard of groves that have had magic kind of infused into it to allow for music to play. But whether or not this is something that is good or bad, you're not quite sure.
the music pretty?
Yeah, it's generally uplifting. It feels like there are at times where it sinks into like lulls of low. But for the most part, it feels very festive, very like almost as if you're sitting in a tavern in some sort of countryside where you're like preparing for some sort of like barn dance almost.
Does it sound like anything we would have heard when we were chilling with Relcath and his homies?
Similar to an extent, but it has its own like feel and vibe to it. Yeah.
Perrin, does other musicians make you feel threatened? As like Eden just looks with like this very snarky like smile.
No, I mean this is amateur hour. This is fine. It's okay. It's not anything incredible. I mean, I didn't write it, so how much better could it be?
I'm sensing a little bit of you feeling threatened by this, by that statement. It just
I
came
have
up with
no-
offensive.
Matter of fact is what it is. This music is okay. I play better music.
Well, should we be cautious going up there to see if there's somebody there, or are we avoiding it?
Yeah, because sometimes, you never know. The sound of music, you could bring the hills alive, or that's what some storyteller used to tell me.
Are you saying that music has the capacity to bring people back from the dead?
Yeah, there are some. Trust me, there are some thrillers out there. That really get you. But
None of this answers the question. Are we going to try to see what's going on, or are we avoiding?
uh,
I'll leave this to those up front, as I am just a weird traveler. And Eden will just kind of like stand there.
I don't
We're
know.
feeling
do we have time
sassy.
to-
I
do we have
look
time to
over at
deviate from our
Corv.
path?
Oh, sorry. What'd you say, Art?
Oh, I was just asking if we had time to deviate from our path, or if this is on the way.
I mean, if it's a trap or something, then deviating would presumably be faster. I don't know. I really can't tell. I look over at Corvus. I don't know. What do you think, Corvus?
Corvus is very specifically arms crossed, just kind of glancing at like almost a halfway upward angle. Whatever we do, we'll do so with confidence, I suppose.
oh, so that's my cue. And Perrin will like step forward with like a spring and kind of walk towards the tree. Do I see anything in particular playing the instruments, or any creatures playing these instruments?
Make a perception check as you walk up.
I'll follow
Oh.
close behind.
Natural 20 for 23.
So as you begin to crest, and it's not a very big hill, but as you guys begin to follow, or whoever decides they are following Perrin, as he gets to the crest of this hill where this tree sits, the first thing you notice is the music as you approach slowly starts to die down, and when you reach the top, underneath the boughs of this tree, it stops. And as you look around the surrounding landscape, there is not a soul to be seen. Which leads you to believe, look up. And as you look up and stare into the boughs of these trees, you can see, or this tree, you can see what looks to be instruments curled into the boughs. Vines and pieces of like twisted leaves with hollowed out portions of a branch create the loop. Around,
Could be
kind of hollow with leaves covered over the top, and some leaves battering into it for drums. And the pipe seems almost to have these almost like flutes that come down like a pan flute, and you could see as one of musical talent where the right kind of swipe of the branch or movement of the branch could create certain notes as the wind moves through. Art, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I could be mistaken because I'm definitely out of my element here, but that does not seem like a natural phenomenon.
I just want to say this, just to kind of get it out so that I don't have to, or nobody has to say it again. Where we are doesn't really have incredibly natural occurrences.
They're
gonna
natural for
be-
here.
Right. So it's a very strange nature. It's not anything you've seen.
I mean,
It's like-
yes. Have you seen some of these flowers? I mean, and Art's gonna display some of the random pickings he's found.
Oh god.
So I'm gonna look up at the tree and pull my lute out. And I'm just gonna strum a bit.
Okay. As you play,
Do I see any response?
as you play, the lute in the tree, the bough dips down, not like to your level, but to where another branch could come down and strum it, and you can see smaller branches off of the main one, like looping around the neck of the lute to play certain chords. And as it strums, it almost matches or mirrors in a like almost like bass-like way you playing the main instrument, and it kind of following along. So it moves in with the lute and then brings the backup of the drums and then highlights every so often with a handful of notes from the pan flute.
There's so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. What's so and rainbows have nothing to hide. What's so amazing, it keeps a star blazing.
And I'm just like watching what happens.
As you continue to play with this tree, the boughs move slowly and slowly further down, almost dipping on your side to match and mirror and almost create a space where the three instruments in yourself can play together. The opposite end you can see starting to wave almost and dance and sway with the melody of the music. Corvus, Eden, you notice while Perrin is singing that from the fringes, the edges of this clearing, you can see at first small flickers, motes of light, as like it is now getting to the point where the light is dim, right? It's starting, like night is setting in, but there's still a little bit of light to make things visible. Before dozens of these little, almost like lightning bugs, but about the size of a pigeon, begin to move into the space and light up the area. As this is happening, you notice that very similar to how you had this kind of space opened up in the forest for you to enter into this clearing, there are a series of other spaces as denizens of this area are making their way into the clearing. I'm going to use the word lured, but not in a malicious way. Lured here by the music and the song.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La, 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 la.
And as you guys all stand there, you just start to hear tons and tons of clapping coming from around as what looks to be probably about a little over 30 individuals of all varying shapes, sizes. You can see fairies darting to and from. You see what looks almost to be a butterfly, except its form looks, well, Corvus, you recognize it as draconic. You can see a pair of goblins on the far end of the clearing who were dancing and following along before they stop and they just sit down, and one of them pulls out this small pack and makes this little picnic setup. You see on the other end Corvus and Eden only, a figure cowled on the very edge of the clearing, just watching and staring in the direction of the five of you. Not moving or saying anything, but just very stoically there.
You said wearing a cowl?
Yeah, like they have a hood and cloak up over their face, so you can't see
what color is the
anything
cloak?
deeper. From what you can see, it looks to be like a charcoaly gray.
Okay, so gray tone.
Mm-hmm.
My focus is to keep this cowl individual in my line of sight or perspective at all times. I'm not going to act on it, just going to keep them in my line of sight.
Okay.
But also keeping Eden within my line of sight if possible. Priority on the cloaked figure.
Go ahead, Eden.
Eden will kind of like skirt around the side and is trying to get a better view of the cowled figure, keeping them also in sight, but it's like out of curiosity. Like, we're trying to be stealthy about it. We're not trying to make a scene, but we're curious that somebody feels the need, if that makes sense.
Sure, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Hey, that is a 19 plus something. Hold on. Different character. Who it is? Oh, hey! That's a 24. I forgot. I have stuff in that one.
24. Yeah, you were able to kind of peel off using the dipped down branches as its cover. Give me a perception check.
That I know I'm good at. 17 plus perception is also a 24.
A 24. As you look, you can make out a little bit better than Corvus initially kind of has this gray cloak that as it reaches toward the bottom where it washes and meets the ground, it goes from this charcoal gray to these slightly muted greens. And then the bottom of the cloak looks almost like it would have at one point have been like a very vibrant green, but it's now kind of a dulled olive color. Looking into the hood, you can see, kind of looking back and forth, the brief reflection of these two kind of almost glazed over yellow-looking eyes.
Do these look familiar in any form of anything that Eden would have seen?
Make a history check.
I don't think I have much in history. No, that is a 14.
A 14? Not to your recollection, no. I mean, there were things that your sisters could turn into that had yellow eyes, but those things also didn't really wear clothes. So doesn't lead you to believe that it would be anything that they would have been associated with.
Then Eden will just kind of keep tabs for a little bit and watch, like, is their body language just like they're trying to stay hidden? Does it look, like, what are they doing? They just sitting there.
Yeah. Give me an insight check, and then we'll move to some other folks real quick.
That's 21.
21. Okay. I'll come back around. Hold on
Yeah.
to that number. But you guys all see. So there are a number of like regular, like not regular, but almost elven-looking figures that have made space around the tree, forming this somewhat semicircle, not around you guys, but in a space where they could look up the hill toward you, Perrin, and toward this tree. Some of them have been dancing. Some of them even pulled out instruments of their own and tried to mirror, or at least begin to play something that mirrors yours. But over the next couple of minutes, you see is almost this like small band forms down at the base of the tree. And as it begins playing, the instruments of the tree drift down and get placed at the trunk. And the tree just almost happily nods down as like it bows down to the performers down below and just kind of dances and moves and waves with the music that they're playing.
It looks like the amateurs enjoy your playing, Baron.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't they?
And then I'll call out in Sylvan. Hello there. We're visitors to this land. Who are you?
Hi, hello, and you watch as this kind of middle-aged elf, these what looks to be like almost broken branches throughout their hair, runs up to you wearing clothes that looks to be made from the trees and the surroundings. It's very simple, very like just handmade, homemade clothing that was gifted from the land. And as they approach, we are denizens of the woods here around the Dancing Grove.
Very nice to meet you. My name's Oak.
I'm Lethis.
Lapis. That's a wonderful name.
Th Lethis.
Lethis.
Yes, is at the end. Yes, we heard the playing of the dancing tree, and so we came. Whenever we hear the music, we come. And usually, it means that it's no longer time for it to play, but for us to play for it.
It's no longer time for what?
It's no longer time for it to play, and time for us to play for it instead. There are times when we can hear the music for long bouts of time, and we knew almost immediately when it stopped. And they point to you, Perrin. We heard a different instrument being played. That there were new folk in the forest, and that it was time for us all to join with them.
Well,
You all
yes.
looking across. You seem from here. I can kind of tell. He looks over and kind of glances in Eden's direction. Your friend who ran off as well. But the three of you aren't from these lands, are you?
No, we're not from here. We're from the boring place. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice here. That was a pretty decent tune. You all can keep up pretty well.
Uh, we are. We've trained ourselves to be able to pick up wherever the tree is left off. And oftentimes, it ends abruptly.
Well, I guess it just hopes that you can carry on.
Yeah. Yes. But please tell me about your travels. Where are you? Are you planning on staying here? Did you all come this way to see the tree?
No,
Well, the tree's kind of. He looks back over up at Oak as he says this, and then back over at them. It's kind of a detour. We're headed towards the autumn court.
You
I
hear
thought we were
like
going to
you
the
hear
winter
like
court.
whoever's playing the violin like hard scratches and like then Art says winter court and everybody just stops playing.
Perrin will hear in his head, it might be better not to mention to the people of, spring and summer courts that we're going to somewhere that hates them.
Yeah, we've got some
Eden,
friends who strayed away.
these folk don't look like they claim lineage to any of the four
They're
corners.
just them.
Yeah,
Okay.
from what you can tell, and Orchid, you or Oak, you as well. There's a mix of these elven like humans that some of them have semblances of the elves that you saw um, with Enerin and in Oak's former home. Some of them look as if they're what would be foliage and bits of leaves are just dead, dying, bare. There's a smattering of what you would imagine to be Eladrin oak. Uh,
Well, and we saw
Who-
those when we were with Relcath, right? So we
yeah, you saw I believe you saw spring and summer ones in Relcat's in the Willow Barrow. But these like the spring and summer ones in Relcat's court were colorful, were vibrant. And you would imagine even the autumn and the winter ones would have this essence to them that resembles their courts. These resemble the very muted grays of the graying that you guys have been traveling.
in which case scratch what Eden said before, and she would have just said, we probably should be careful about where we say we're going just in case we don't want to make enemies.
We've got some friends who've made deals over there, and we're trying to go and catch up with them.
or like we're trying to stop. Well, not stop. We're just trying to catch up with someone who's recklessly charging to the winter court.
All right. Well,
By recklessly charging after them, it's the only way.
Eden will
As-
slowly start kind of approaching, like,
sure. That's what you deem to be best in this situation. Who am I to judge or stop you? It's your friend. You know best. Can we
What court
provide?
you all hailed from?
We, looking back at the growing group that have now, like, the music has stopped, but, like, there are a couple who are trying to get it back going. Now the conversation has kind of shifted tone. We come from all of the courts. We don't... the graying is our home.
Seems to be a little bit off. Not to be insulting or anything. The graying. Is there? Is this something that's always been, or is it something that's just recently started occurring?
The graying has been here for generations. Hundreds of years, if I can if I can recall, the Grang has always been a staple here. A way to prevent the greediness of one court immediately encroaching on the others.
So you have provided kind of a sense of freedom from some of these things?
From some of them, yes. The courts like to poke and prod on occasion, and will send their various eyes and ears to watch the goings on of not only the folk here, but the folk of the neighboring courts.
Did you choose to live there?
To live here in the Grey.
Mhm.
We long ago, we originally lived in the Autumn Court. We chose to come here because while there were times that we agreed with the will of the Skeleton King and those above his station, our lives were sometimes recklessly thrown into the mix, and so we chose, a group of us chose to leave. There are still some of my kin who remain there.
Well, as a token of good faith or anything, if we come across them in our travels, is there anything you wish us to relay? Were we to see them and be able to recognize them anyways, but I know it can be hard when you're separated from people if it can. And you've been very kind with everything.
Just let them know that we're still here and that they are welcome here, and we hope to one day be welcomed there.
I can do this.
And you are?
My name is Eden.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
Well, DM, how long have we been traveling? Like, are we at the point where we would want to break for the night, or?
You could. I mean, now the thing is you could either choose to venture throughout the day or venture, well, I guess if you know the general direction that you're going.
I mean, I imagine it's easy to get
It's
twisted
been
around.
it's been a few hours. It's night's falling. Most of you guys are at that point where you could use a rest of some sort, but it's not necessarily needed. If that makes sense. You guys can try. You guys can push through. We'll say Oak to you at this point. You do get that vibe that this is a safer place for a lot of you.
You know, I wouldn't want to impose, but if you don't mind if we rest here.
No, by all means. We don't. This is not our home. This is not our space. It's the trees. If you wish to sleep under its boughs, then simply ask, and it should be more than accommodating.
Oh, may I? I turn to Oak.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just on my heels, turn back towards the tree and just kind of go, "Oh, can we stay with you under all your rule?"
The tree bends forward ever so slightly. You watch as two branches begin to spindle their way out toward you until a handful of leaves on either side, and they just kind of clap in the space in front of you. and then recede.
I go over to the tree and I like put my arms on it as if I'm like trying to hug it. Thanks.
And Perrin is now married to the tree.
As you hug it, a series of its roots open up, and you fall into it, and then it closes.
And then we're suddenly in the last unicorn, and Perrin's being smothered by tree boobies.
Oh no, I was thinking more like Old Man Willow, Tom Bondeville.
Oh
shit.
yeah.
No, but you are in the space, Perrin, for a moment, and you watch as like this flicker begins overhead, and you can see it's almost like this dull fluorescent glow as this hanging above you is this lightning bug that's about the size of, like I said earlier, a pigeon. It's letting off this glow that just opens up the space or illuminates the space around you, and it's a what seems to be a small study or studio almost. To one side, you can see a series of like a small bookshelf with a handful of scrolls. You can also see a series of all manners of instruments. You can see flutes and lutes and drums and trumpets, even a trombone tucked into the corner.
Is anyone else concerned that that tree just ate Perrin?
Oh, no, it happens not as often as many of the musicians here would like, but it's fairly normal. Or at least supposed to be normal.
So he'll come back out shortly.
That's up to him. Really.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, I'm not going to argue with the tree anyways.
I guess definitely sounds like we're setting up camp here.
And as you begin to set up camp, Corvus, the individual that you've been eyeing this entire time, just sinks into the forest, and the space that the forest had made for it closes.
How far away is it? As like I see it getting ready to sink, like the distance between me and
Yeah.
it.
Because I'm still watching.
Like the moment I see it doing a thing, I gotta know how far it is.
Yeah, because
I mean-
like,
For you, Corvus, what, your movement's like a bajillion now?
A bajillion and a half. Base movement 55.
Okay, base. What? Jesus.
Bunks.
Oh my
Minus
god.
plus mobile.
Fucking. Oh, you took a more? Oh my god.
really,
Gotta go
really,
fast.
I just need to know the moment it starts to back away, Eden is going to telepathically say something to it. That's
Yeah.
my trick.
I'll say you start to see Corvus, like the second this thing starts to back off. Corvus, you're probably about 100-ish feet away.
So all I gotta
You
do is
can-
action dash, and I'm in its face before it can leave.
Sure. Yeah, but as you watch Corvus dart off, you can see this thing start to pull back.
Eden will
what would you
immediately-
like to say?
Yeah, no, it's basic. Why are you leaving? And that's, of course, they can't respond, but then Eden is going to go after Corvus, wild shaping all the way. We are Panther Eden. Like, trying to not draw a lot of attention, which is why the Panther.
You just turned into a panther and started running across this nice
in Eden's
friendly
best
clearing.
in Eden's best attempt
I'll pass
to
as a
not
panther.
draw attention.
Corvus, I'll say you can get there. You know what, Eden? As you send that out, I have many.
I can't hear you.
I have many places to watch tonight.
So like it does respond to me telepathically?
Mhm.
Oh.
And about then is when you are in its face, Corvus. Now it's
So
still
as-
like the space around it is closing as you are getting there.
That's actually what I want to like as I'm like rushing, like as I move before I actually use my dash to actually decide how to do this. How does it look? Does it look like it's either actually moving into the environment? Does it seem like it's magically teleporting, or is it molding into kind of thing?
From what you can know, so it's very much how like you guys have walked in here where the forest parted. It is now just like it's stepping backwards, so the forest behind it is parting, but the forest in front of it is closing to make up for that.
All right, and that part of the forest is that's part of like the gray where
This
it gets
is
a little iffy.
everything. You guys are all still like you guys, for all intents and purposes, are in the graying. This is just a space within it.
All right, so I'm going to. I had to double check which way we're going to do this. I don't want to do action dash. I am going to use Step of the Wind to dash instead, so I can still have my action.
Okay.
And I actually want to I want to shoot past this individual. You said they're about 100. I want to actually go.
You want to go into
Past
the
them to
forest
be
past it?
I want to
Okay.
go right behind them.
Okay, I'll allow it. Go for it.
And
It steps back and it just kind of meets. Like, you know, you bump in, it bumps its back into your chest.
um
And this figure stands slightly taller than you. And as it bumps into you, your immediate feeling is whatever individual that like whatever type of creature or person this is a meaty individual. There is some muscle mass behind this thing, and arguably can pack a punch.
I'm not gonna like try to do anything. I'm gonna not try to hold them, but I am going to like put my hand to be like, don't go by. Don't try to move further yet. Who are you?
Who do you need me to be?
Who are you?
I'm one of many. I am.
You're whispering too low for me.
I am whispering too low. Jesus. I am one of many. I am a whisper on the wind. I am one who these lands fear for my quick blade.
Why or for whom have you been here?
We all travel the gray. We don't have a particular calling yet. No one has given us a specific job. Guess that's what your kind would call it. So
Eden will be popping up behind them shortly, by the way. I just thought you should know.
Yeah, no, it's about this time, Eden, that you show
Or-
up and
As a cat.
you as a cat, and it looks down. But in time, if our eyes see and our voices spread, maybe we will be called to action.
Eden
Who or
will
what
be
do you
po-
serve?
It turns to face you, to like looks down at you slightly, and inside you can see inside is a void of color. You can't, all is darkness. But as you look up into this space, two solid yellow pupils open. I am something that makes the night my home. And I am something that serves the night.
Eden will be making like deadlocked eye contact from behind Corvus now, like uncatified.
I gotta roll something.
And will begin to reach into her bag.
What did you get out? Did you hop out of kit
Yeah.
form? Oh, you.
Yeah, like came up and poofed and is like standing behind Corvus now, like making direct eye contact, and will reach out with a small pink gem in their hand, like
Do you
offering
know-
it to this person.
Do you know who this is?
No, it is a token of kindness.
And now it like just turns so that way you two are facing each other and like it's in the middle, like so you guys are kind of boxed. And it looks down at this glowing kind of pink gem that you've produced, Eden. Why should I accept the gift? I have none to give in return.
I expect nothing in return. Only should our paths meet again, that you might extend some sort of, I guess, consideration in return. It is simply a token of goodwill,
Roll
not a
a
barter.
roll a persuasion check.
Yeah, because I'm so good at it. Well, a 19 minus 1 is still an 18.
An 18. He looks down and says, with what I can do, I cannot always give the consideration that you ask. Though, consider it I will. And he takes the gem, and as he picks it up, the darkness almost swallows him, and he vanishes from sight.
Eden will just turn to Corvus. Okay, it is people like that that you should really try to be nice to and not be too forceful.
Corvus failed the curiosity, especially as the darkness whips around this thing. Corvus is going to try and not grab at the figure, but literally just try to reach at the shadows as they're closing the darkness, just to understand if it's just literally it slipped into shadows. If it's like Corvus is just trying to understand everything now and is like, if I just reach slightly into the shadow,
All right, hang
what
on.
does it feel like as it starts to close?
Let me specifically read this thing really quick.
Yeah.
Don't lose a finger.
Okay, yeah,
And
real question. Yeah, real question is make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Constitution. I'm bad at that. Real bad. That's a 4.
A 4. I'll say as you reach in, you will take 9 points of necrotic damage. That
I'll
as
take only half.
as the wisps wrap around your fingers, you can feel that there's some sort of magic there. It's not necessarily, there wasn't the casting of a spell, but there's something that this thing has a command of the darkness around it almost.
Perfect. As like kind of like there's that moment of like the energy like pierce the fingers. There's that tense feeling, the nerves, the muscle, and all that, and then a small smirk. No. Even here, the darkness is the same elsewhere. Well, I suppose we return and just kind of will walk back towards everything.
Mm-hmm.
Eden will follow, flanking, attempting at this point to be creepy, fully acknowledging that Corvus has been watching them all night. So,
as the two of you return, Orchid, or Oak and Art, you begin setting up camp. Is there anything thing in particular as you watch the two of them dart off that you would like to do?
Art having, I guess parents in a tree and everyone's okay with it, so I guess there's nothing to be concerned about. And Eden and Corvus have disappeared and no one seems worried about that. So Art's gonna try to catch lightning bugs.
Ooh, okay, go for it. Make an animal hand. Is there a particular way in which Art would try to catch these pigeon-sized lightning bugs? That's a better question.
even these outside ones are pigeon-sized.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah,
Got it.
they are almost like literal lantern, like the size of like small lanterns.
Well, I guess that we're just gonna go the old-fashioned way of just
Okay, go ahead and give me an athletics check when you get a chance. Yeah, we'll go athletics check.
Oh, good. I'm great at that.
That's fine. These things are.
That checks. That's gonna be a 5.
A 5. As you jump up, you grab this thing for a split second before the tail end of it lights up in your face, and like the shock of the light blinds you for a second, and it uses that chance to get its legs up underneath your hands and like kick out and then fly away safely.
Well, I'm gonna brush myself off and go back to Spark. I don't know. What do you think? Would this be a worthwhile upgrade?
The ability to produce light would be interesting, to say the least. I'm about only slightly larger than some of these are. So I think it would be doable.
Well, I'll make a note of it. I'm trying to see if I can catch one, to see if I can study it, so that I can try to come up with a mechanism to be able to do so. But these things are proving a lot more elusive than I initially anticipated.
Would you wish for me to attempt to capture one for you?
Oh, well, if that's something you're willing to do, then sure.
If it would improve your studies, sure. Yes. And
sure, go for it.
it will take off and just start zooming through the sky like a bat almost. Go ahead and roll a straight D20 for me. Do you have his stats on your sheet?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then roll an attack roll for me.
An attack roll. Well, it looks like, unfortunately, Spark's not doing much better than me. That's gonna come out to a 9.
A 9. You watch as Spark takes off into the air and then tries for a moment, like glides for a second, and then tries to dive down on one of these. As it lights, like it's lit up, and that's like Spark's indication of like, cool, that's where it is. And as he's diving, the light fades away and just completely misses it in the dark.
That was a solid effort!
I'm sure if I spend a little bit more time, I can get one.
Well, we've got all night ahead of us here, so I'm sure we'll get plenty of other opportunities.
All right, and he just keeps taking off and is going to keep trying to grab them for you.
Oak, in like getting this moment where everybody else is off doing something else, I think she's just gonna meditate under the tree after she like gets her part of camp set up, and try and sort of reconnect to the feeling of the Fae, and also reconnect to Malor in this place where she is presumably much stronger than in the material plane.
Sure. Go ahead and give me I'll say either religion or... Actually, no, just give me a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. Wisdom save 15.
15. As you sit there for a moment, you're just slowly breathing and working on finding the right headspace for this, letting the music soothe you. You immediately feel yourself pulled almost visually into the earth, into the roots of the earth below you, where the trunk and roots of the tree that you are sitting in front of extend. Its reach extends as far as the clearing that you sit in. Has made this entire hill and space its own. You attempt to extend beyond that and push into the gray, and that's where this barrier comes up. Not necessarily a block, but this sense of there isn't quite a connectiveness in what lies beyond, despite its appearance of such. Something's missing.
Is this like unusual? Do I think this is a feature of the gray?
I'd say your best answer would probably be the second. The feeling that like this is something that is outside the bounds of any of the courts, and because of that, it is almost a lawless space, if you will. The land is taking on that nature.
Interesting.
But here you feel safe, you feel secure, you can feel that. So roll an insight.
Okay. That is 17.
17. There's a sense of protectiveness that this tree gives off. Not for the other plants and foliage around you or out into the rest of the forest expanse that you've been traveling through, but for the creatures here, the beings, every bit of life within this space. This tree, despite what's going on in the rest of the gray, is taking it upon itself to create this safe haven, create this space, make it welcome, so others can come and celebrate and dance and sing and eat with one another.
Very nice.
Perrin, you are stuck in this very neon glowy illuminated studio. What would you like to do?
So there are books and scrolls and all manner of instruments.
This place looks like the books and scrolls aren't as dense as the amount of instruments in their room. The amount of instruments is it's a pile that make up probably the front half of this, and then where you're at, like where you fell into, looks almost like a study, like where there's a place to sit and write, and what books and scrolls that are off to the side look almost like notebooks or writing pads or things and implements that one could use while in this space.
Okay. So I think Perrin just kind of goes over to the little study area and just starts looking at scrolls and absentmindedly out loud just kind of says how did all of this get down here? How did you collect all of these things?
And as you're
Go for
it.
Open up, yeah.
As you're going through the various writings, the one thing that you notice is while there are, from time to time, you see multiples of not necessarily the same item, but similar handwritings, there are at least about a dozen different handwritings in various languages. amongst these books or these notebooks and scrolls. But as you open them up, they are a combination of like lyric writing and note writing and even like the occasional like kind of personal jot here and there, like off to the side.
Yeah. So it kind of feels like you've been a haven for artists along the way. He just kind of like looks over at the pile of instruments. And just kind of then like puts his hand on the rhizomes, like the roots that are down here. And just kind of like again, saying this out loud, just like thinking maybe if I touch the tree, it'll like hear me or move or whatever. Are any of these like special in any way?
They're special. They're special to me. Kinda. I mean, they're special. Yes.
So this is the tree talking to me now, or do I hear a voice somewhere?
You hear this in your head.
Okay. Are these like? Did you collect these from other people?
No, I didn't collect. No, they were gifts given.
Oh, okay, that's lovely.
Yeah.
So, do you have a particular favorite, or is it just, whatever you're feeling in the moment?
Hmm. Well, there was and he grabs the trombone, or he grabs the trombone for a second. There was I believe he was either half orc or orcish fella that could play this very well. And when he came here, there were people from the Autumn Court who would come here to hear him play.
That's
Reverberating.
nice.
You hear it for miles. And then he sets it down. He moves to a pan flute. This is from a satyr that I managed to best in a competition. He was young, but out of respect, he left it here after I opened up the space for him.
I swear that sounds so familiar. It's like a story I've heard before. Except it wasn't a pan flute, it was like a fiddle or something. That's nice that you have this. Why'd you swallow me?
I really don't know. But you're one of the first people in a long while that I can remember, at least, that has actively chosen to come to the top of the hill and play face to face, if you will.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit more braver than brilliant, as it were. So I've got gumption, is really what it is. Everyone up there probably just thinks I'm being either desiccated in some way or just. I wonder what they think. Actually, it'd be very interesting to wonder to know what they're thinking now that I'm down here. But because they're not like attacking you kind of makes me feel that they're just like going about their business, which is nice.
Yeah, they definitely have. I think the broody one and the one that has the little antenna, they ran off to the edge of the clearing.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. If it's not about them, they've got to make it about them somehow. So that's pretty much how that goes.
The goblin is trying to catch lightning bugs. Has
Oh,
this
that's
little
so cute.
flying bat thing with it. Trying to catch it for him.
I keep forgetting that Spark can like fly. That's
Doesn't look like a spark. It looks more like a, I don't know, like a goblin wrapped in sheet metal.
no, that's just what we call him. It's like his name. Sorry, I should have asked. Do you have a name?
Name. No one's ever asked me that. I don't think I do. They call me the dancing tree, but I don't know. That kind of sounds.
It's a little
Huh.
reductive.
I mean, yeah. Like, of course I'm dancing. You're playing music, right? Like, wouldn't you
Well,
dance if
why
there was
wouldn't you?
music? Yeah, you'd call
Yeah,
every
it's
human.
exactly right.
Call every like
Like-
Eladrin or elf or goblin like dancing goblin or like Eladrin dancing
Right.
Eladrin. Yeah.
That's just there's a point where it becomes offensive. And you know what? And the boughs of the tree, do they like hang and like, is it kind of willow-esque?
There's a willow element to it, but it's not quite a willow. It'd be like if an oak and a willow had a baby almost, where it's like it has that like hardened, like it's got that firmer wood to it, but it also has that like loose embendableness of a willow.
Did you want a name? You don't need to have one. I mean, it's not a necessity. I don't want to put you in a.
Well, I mean, you seem eager to I mean, you kind of want to give me a name, I'm guessing, yeah? Or at least help me
Well, it'd
find
be-
a name?
I
that
would
works?
love to help you find it. I mean, some people feel that names are powerful. Names give things meaning.
Oh, wait, yeah, we are in the Feywild. Do I really want a name here? Especially if you're the one who made it and knows it. Is that the kind of deal that I want to make with you right now?
Well, I'm not Fey.
Yeah. But it doesn't have anything to do about you being Fey. You are giving
Maybe
me
we
my
don't.
name.
Maybe we just don't do that because I don't want something to gain power over you. We'll just. It's a moot point. I never said anything.
Right. I don't have a name. I'm nameless. Well, no, I'm not nameless. I don't know.
You are.
Shit.
I
am a tree. I shouldn't be talking
You
to
are. I mean,
Goodbye now.
that's where the sentence ends. Yep. Yep. I can't believe I did that. And so Perrin just kind of like looks around, and he's going to find like a piece of parchment, and he's going to transpose a song onto this parchment and leave it as like a gift, and then eventually just like say out loud, just like, thank you for being so welcoming. We don't need to talk anymore because I feel like I might just make more trouble than it's worth. But you're a pleasure to talk to and play with. You were a little flat on a couple of those notes, but you can work on it, I promise. Yeah.
As the bark of this tree begins to open up again, as you leave, you kind of put your hand on the entryway or exitway as you're making your way
just kinda,
out.
like, steady myself,
and
yeah.
you hear, I would have kept talking to you if you would have like just not made it awkward. Like you would have just you just stopped talking to me. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna I just was making it a joke, but it's cool. Listen, if you guys are really going where you're saying you're going, Words have power.
Yeah.
Deals are binding.
Oh, don't I know it?
And I'll see you when you come back.
That is both inviting and vaguely ominous. Yeah, no, we'll make sure to stop in, say hi, and I'll bring you some thing. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what you like.
As you pass through, it just slowly starts to close, and like the last little like fingertips are holding on. You've made a promise, Hope Singer. And then it closes.
Perrin lets go, and it's just like it's like the fanboy after experiencing a celebrity. It knows my name, and he just kind of like traipses down the hill to where his sister is, not to disturb Oak within the meditation, and just sits down with Finara, watching Art jump around with Spark trying to catch lightning bugs.
I
Oh,
imagine.
good, you're still alive.
I mean, yeah, you didn't hear me dying. I would have screamed at least.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't be able to differentiate whether that was you screaming in pain and agony, or if that was the, as you say, it's pain and agony of your craft.
I hate when you use my own words against me. You know this, right?
But they're your words.
You're absolutely right. You are. I hate that.
And as you all get back together and begin to settle down, drift off your various states of sleep. Eventually, the sun begins to rise. And as you pack up your things, give one last look at the tree, the dancing tree. The clearing now empty as the morning light has hit it. You are the only beings left. Shoulder your packs, head into the graying once more, and that's where we'll go on a quick break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. We're gonna go do our things. You guys do yours, and we'll be back in 10. Bye.
Did I say it now?
I mean, sure. I don't know. Do you want it? We're live now.
No, I'm fine.
All right, cool. Welcome back, friends. As you head into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
Think of it.
Thank you. My heart just a little bit full. I need Corvus. Jay, roll me a d20.
No?
Yes. Now with disadvantage. I mean, what?
That's a 14.
A 14. You traverse following this straight path that Oak is leading you on. For the majority of the day, without issue. Night begins to settle. How do you find a space to make camp? Would be my question for you.
And because everything's stuck in that perpetual, like
there's
cycle of not.
Yes and no. There's okay, so it's there's still room for you to see far and wide, right? Off into the periphery, but the movable ground, right? In order for it not to be considered difficult to traverse, the immediate what you're stepping into opens up before you and then closes behind you. But like you can still see like 60 feet away that squirrel jump from a tree to another tree type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you can see smaller details.
Does other things, or do other things cause the forest to respond the same way? Like it kind of moves for us. Does it move for all things? Like does the forest move ever so slightly for that squirrel, or is it like
No, it seems
only?
You know what? Actually, give me an insight check. I'll have you insight a whole forest.
That's a 13.
A 13. I'll say what you notice is that you all seem almost like it's recognizing that you don't belong almost. And so it's can't tell if it's helping because it wants you out or if it's helping because it genuinely cares. I'll say that's what you get. Right? Like things like the squirrel or like the bird or I don't know, the occasional like passerby you'll see like way, way, way off in the distance, right? It doesn't seem like it's naturally moving fully to the way that it's working for you.
What did the forest do the same thing for that shadow figure? Kind of like whether or not it was for better or for worse, it moved because it seemed. Does it move the same way, like making space for it? Because it is either helping or hindering.
It was either helping or, yeah, yeah.
Same style. Okay. Corvus technically doesn't care to make camp, but Corvus thinks we can keep going forever. So
My feet
Corvus-
hurt.
Then transform.
Just get new feet.
Yeah, Eden will then just transform into the panther, and Grim is just like chilling out on the back of the panther now.
Alright.
And we are stomping.
Yeah, no,
Stop.
Corvus is willing to continue going unless someone else is like implied.
Yeah, you guys can definitely traverse at night. I mean, it would be considered dim light for my folks who can't see in the dark. So, Perrin.
For Perrin.
Yep.
Like rest is important at some point, but also like we don't have to worry about not having light. So Corvus is like, we can kind of go a little longer than we normally would, unbothered.
Telepathically, then, because I forget that now I'm a fucking cat and I can't talk to people.
My favorite.
Yeah. By the way, you might make sure that people don't get exhausted over this, because we're exhausted, then we're gonna die, and if we're dead, then we can't do what we're doing. It's like stomping. Through.
The angry cat tail swishing back and forth.
Yeah. Poor Grim holding on for dear life.
Eden, if your feet are sore, then that might actually make them more sore.
Wah.
Eden's a glutton for punishment.
We probably should find somewhere to stop for the night, though.
I feel like Fanara would have like some sort of mom-ism about feet being tired and resting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Missed
And
it.
probably an embarrassing story about Perrin.
Also, the majority of actually everybody except for Corvus. Of course, Corvus could walk all night. He's the only one wearing shoes. Well,
Yeah,
Ocus too,
I've got
but
good feet.
but
I'd like to make a point that Corvus has relatively pedicured feet.
Not that any of us would know.
it's canon now, I guess. Yeah, you've heard it here first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Corvus has a self-care routine. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
But no, you guys can either choose to continue on for a little bit longer into the night, or to camp here. Your choice.
We can set camp and rest, I suppose, if we need. Before Eden decides to expand this tantrum.
Flops over. And pretends to be dead.
If only we were so lucky.
Oh my gosh, Eden, are you okay?
Still not moving.
Make a performance check, Eden.
Whew, that is a 1.
You
No,
like,
look, right there. See, the chest is rising and falling.
The
She's still breathing.
her tail still doing a little bit of an angry
Right, still see the
spin.
tail doing this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't control it.
I don't
Grim
even
is
picture you. Just
Grim,
Grim, meow. I'm
Grim's on the
dead,
Grim's on the
meow.
chest, trying to like, give you CPR.
Aaron just
But
kinda,
also is
leans
failing and
over.
doing biscuits instead.
Yeah.
Aaron just kind of leans over Eden's head and just kind of like does that thing that irritates cats, where you blow in their ear and then like the ear itself just moves.
Yeah. And then they're like slow eye opening and just glaring of like, and then just sits up.
Is Eden near any sort of a tree or anything of the sorts?
I mean, I'd say yeah. You guys are all relatively like, as you're making this space your own. There are a number of trees that you can either lay underneath or climb into the boughs of for rest.
Oh, I was gonna say that if Eden is near a tree, still kind of plopped on that spot, then Art's gonna try to start tying some things off and create a covering over the spot.
Will have a very pleased look on their face, even in cat form.
Well, if you've already chosen your spot here, we may as well get you all situated here.
And this just sitting like happy tail. Just like hanging out.
You're a spoiled brat, I tell you.
Does like the full kitty stretch.
You take the time to make camp and notice that as you begin setting up your small arrangements, the forest naturally gives you that little bit of a space to settle down. Do you build a fire?
Sus.
Corvus
Yes.
does not, and like the moment someone tries to start a fire, Corvus is kind of like, I'd rather not have a fire here.
Oh, but why not?
And to clarify, like, what is it? It's not like cold or hot, right? It's like a mild temperate. 'Cause we're, like,
Temperature
near-
here is like, I'd say like, yeah, like mid 60s ish, like mid to low, yeah.
We don't need warmth. We don't need light. And above all, we don't need to announce our location or annoy things around us.
But doesn't a fire normally keep things around us from coming?
I don't think this works the same here. The forest moves. A sentience in some way. And I don't believe I'd like to, well, one, forge any form of kindling from the forest. And I do believe it's just best to avoid flames if we can.
Oh. Well, okay. Art was clearly in the process of like gathering things together and building it up and just has the most defeated look on his face.
Well, you can do something else with this if you want.
Oh, like what?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps, and Perrin just kind of like sits down next to where Hard has set like logs and kindling and whatnot, and Perrin just starts like doing like making like a Lincoln log like house, and just starts like building something. Yeah, I don't know. Just make something neat. Make a craft.
That's a fascinating idea, and Art's gonna start tinkering with some of the logs and seeing what he can come up with.
Fully crafts a Winnebago. We now have it, finally.
No. Listen, you guys want a Feywild that's what you want?
Because then imagine Corvus is driving, threatening to turn it around the whole time. Perrin is playing the music. The whole car smells funny because of something Art is doing.
Yeah, no, but as you tinker away, you guys all find sleep eventually. The rising sun washing over you, almost like it's like night and day. It's like snap your fingers and it's bright out. You begin trekking once more. Eden, can you roll a d20 for me?
No. That's a natural 20.
Natural 20. Can you roll where'd I put it?
Brought to you by Umbraloculus Dice.
Can you roll a d6 for me? If you get a 6, re-roll it.
Hey.
Did you? Well, listen, I can't have you show up at the same place twice. Just not how that works.
That's just what happened. I rolled a 1
Oh, you rolled a 1.
this time. I rolled a 6. I let it be known. The dice are angry.
Slightly after midday, or what you guys would perceive as midday, since when the sun is up, it's pretty much like noon all day. You're continuing following this kind of linear path that, with a combination of Art's keen mind and the general sense of direction that both Oak and Eden have, you are all able to maintain a steady course heading forward. But slightly after midday, the 5 of you begin to hear a crashing in the trees off to your, what would be your right on the path that you're following. As you turn and look, for the briefest of instants, you can see this flash of white and this sparkle of what looks to be gold darting through the trees.
You all saw that, right?
Yes.
Darting in what way? Like,
It was parallel to you guys, like off to the right slightly, and then it looks like it's veering away from you guys. Like it stayed with you guys for maybe about 20 or 30 feet, and then kind of went.
Follow?
I think straying from our path might not be the best idea.
But it was really okay. It was just really sparkly.
I mean, it was really sparkly. I do want to know what it is, but it could be a bad idea to follow it.
Corvus, being the most perceptive as you guys are sitting and listening and trying to figure out what to do, after that crash, you can hear the sound mirrored almost perfectly with the direction and the movement of what sound to be hounds. Following almost
going
like very
away.
similar, like following that path of whatever crashed through the trees.
So we hear hounds going towards the sound.
Out towards
of
the sound. Like
crashing
it stayed parallel with you for a second and then looked like it was they were chasing down whatever.
which seems not our path.
You don't know. You guys don't even know if you're really going the right way, to be honest.
This is
You
true.
guys have
We're just
you guys
kind
have
of-
you have a general you have a very good sense you're going the right way, but like it's also the Feywild, so it could change at any moment. So
Oh well, and I didn't hear that, so I wouldn't know.
You know what? Corvus is gonna just be like, hounds are moving towards loud noise nearby.
Hounds.
Like
Points towards a
dogs?
direction. Not entirely sure the best way to describe pairs. It's canine hounds of sorts.
Do you promise they're just dogs?
I don't know.
Seeing dogs here would be pretty surprising, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is just
common
one
here?
thing here.
No.
Well, since you mentioned that, we should probably just keep going.
That's what I think, personally.
But what if it needs help? But
What is it?
It's sparkly.
It's
It's
not
sparkly.
us.
But it could be a friend.
Or not.
Are friends normally sparkly?
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure of the sparkle to friendliness ratio.
I would like to turn into a cat and see if I can climb a tree and get some kind of sight. I just want to see if I can see.
Sure. Yeah, you can climb up a nearby tree. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. That's an 18 plus 7 because I don't want to math.
Jesus.
It's 25.
You can see maybe about 300-ish feet or so away. Hard to tell. It's far,
What
but
do
like
your
it's
cat eyes?
it's closer, but it's close but far. But a ways off, you can see this quadrupedal creature that has this almost white, translucent skin or fur. You can't really make it out from here. It goes up into a somewhat horse-like face that looks or resembles more of like a deer or a stag. The antlers that protrude from its head are two very large golden horns, golden antlers that extend up and out. With a 25, you can tell that this is a somewhere between an 18 point and a 20 point. It's like that's super uncommon. I think. I don't know, dear.
I mean, it is very uncommon. 10 points pretty average.
I don't know.
Texas.
Texas. As
Do
you
I see the things chasing it?
with a 25 as well, you can see two of these like almost large. The best way to describe them is like sausage rolls of dogs. Like they're big and thick, so you can't really tell like if they're a dog or if they're a wolf or if there's some sort of mashed up weird hybrid of the two. But there's two of them on either side of this creature, and you can see stepping in between them this humanoid individual making their way like closer. In one hand they hold a bow, and the other hand they have this like almost like curved like dirk like dagger.
Okay, Eden will then like drop down from the tree, depoof. There's a really shiny deer that looks like it's about to get murdered by two dogs and a person, and I kind of don't like that.
Have I ever heard legends about a shiny deer? Because I feel like out of character, I've heard legends about like, the white stag or things like that, but
Yeah, I would say you would have general knowledge. You would know that they're like the white stag isn't a solitary thing. There are like just like unicorns or any other sort of fake creature. There are multiples of them, but you would know it's considered to be extremely good luck to meet one, and this is something that would be like if there was such thing as a Feywild endangered species list, this would be on it. Yeah.
oh, yeah, we should help them. Mhm.
Okay. All right. And then Eden's gonna just turn into Horse Eden and like motion for the little guys.
As you motion for the little ones to get on, Art can very easily hop on, but none of you see Perrin anywhere in sight. Perrin, can you please tell me what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. The second that I heard that there was like shiny, Perrin like darted into the woods to follow where the shiny thing went, and is probably not far behind the wolves and the canines and the humanoid.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to keep a fair amount of distance without raising suspicion.
Yeah. With the check that you gave me, you 100% can. I'd say as it's about this time that, like, as you're running away, you could hear Eden bounding up into the trees above you. Um, you make your way, and you can see these um, these woven-like creatures almost look like a combination of like a bulldog and a wolf, where it's got that really like smushed in kind of face, but it's like big, thick, and menacing. Um, the two are flanking on opposite sides. They've cornered what you can now see to be this white stag with these large golden antlers on their head. I keep wanting to call them horns. On their head. One on either side, but it's backed up to this like patch of like gnarled and knotted trees. The humanoid finally catching up, bow on one side, dagger in the other. You can see now as you're getting closer that it looks like the deer did get hit, like kind of on the front shoulder region, on the back, like on what would be the far side of you. As this humanoid creature approaches, they're wearing this kind of red, like bright red hood that extends from like just below the eyes up and down, like up and back and around. The rest of their clothing, no, they do not resemble the red caps that you saw in the Willow Barrow. This is somebody completely different, at least in your knowledge. They are wearing, let's see it. There he is. He's got this like fur-like mantle that goes around his shoulders. His arms are completely bare except for these like leather bracers that he wears around his arms. And then he wears just like kind of simple kind of leather pants with boots pulled up to about mid-calf. And he's just stepping to one side and like slowly, carefully approaching the stag.
Okay. It's a cornered stag. He's got his dagger in one hand, the bow in the other. It's effectively like gonna try to kill this thing, at least to Perrin. And this stag looks like mythical in nature, probably.
Yeah, this thing stands at least double the size of the human, if not more. Yeah.
Okay. So Perrin doesn't like the look of this thing, or this situation at least. And because this is a wonderful distance spell, I am going to make sure I can get both canines and the human, and Perrin is just going to start like humming a little tune, and then he's gonna pull out the vial of phosphorus that Art gave him a while ago, and then snap his fingers, and then a cube of hypnotic pattern is going to form around the three of these. So I'd like all three of them to make wisdom saving throws, please.
Ooh, okay, I see you. All right. Okay. Checking one thing real quick. Okay, so I got dog number 1 fail, dog number 2 fail. How does a saving throws? How does a 19 sound for?
Oh, it definitely beats the DC. So the dogs are incapacitated until harmed or shaken out of the stupor. And this is where Perrin will come out from hiding in the trees and say, "I don't think you need to be doing that there, mate."
And who are you to be telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing? Bystander. And he like takes a second and like loops the bow over around his shoulders. And, like makes a move to go shake one of his dogs.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Because we can have a conversation. I just wanted it to be even numbers.
What do I get for leaving this here?
Well, you get to leave with your life. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, and this is where Perrin will actually pull out the Hazelwood wand. Put a little trait here. A little magical doohickey.
What's it do?
And Perrin will just like point it to the ground and cast good berry, and it'll do the thing where it grows berries and then turns into hazelnuts. Each one of these is a whole meal. Keep you sated all day. If you take a hit, it'll help you out there too.
Make a persuasion check.
Sure. $11.
11. You know, I wasn't gonna roll because I had faith in you rolling high.
Well, it's a 9 bonus. I can't help when I roll a 2.
He puts. Now that you're like up close, this thing, it looks like a dagger, but it looks slightly like it looks like a nice like almost like a hand and a half sword size, but it's looks almost very light and easy to use. He quickly flips it, sheaths it, and begins walking over to the stag. And in what you know to be Sylvan, but I don't think you don't fully understand Sylvan. Speaks to the creature in Sylvan and puts its hand on the shoulder that's like opposite, or like the shoulder that's closest to him, and he like kind of curls up and underneath and goes to reach for the arrow and like just kind of like holds the head in place and pulls the arrow out clean, looks at it for a second, ducks back over and like makes his way back toward where the dogs are and pulls out a small vial and lets the blood drip into there before stowing the arrow and putting the vial into one of his bags. All right. Make that trade if you want to.
Sure. And Perrin will just hold the wand out.
And he'll, like, as he steps back, he'll motion to the stag to leave, and it just kind of darts off. Doesn't go far, but it kind of just gets out of being cornered, that situation of being cornered. And the man approaches you and hand extends for the wand.
Just out of curiosity, what's that do when he points to the bag where the blood is?
I don't know anything about it, but there's folk who will pay pretty nicely for blood. It's a component or something.
Be careful hunting things that are prettier than you next time, eh? And he just kind of like pushes the wand forward.
He gives you this really big smile, and his teeth are all sharpened to points. As he takes it, and he points it to the ground, and we'll let the good nuts come up, and he'll pick them really quick. And this will feed me a whole day.
You just need one, really, and it'll sate you. But if you want to feel full all the time, these will make 10 of these, and off you go.
And it's about this time that the rest of you now are catching up to Perrin.
Oh my god. Aaron, why did you run off like that?
Oh, well, I mean, you see such shiny, nice thing in the woods, and you got to make sure it's okay. I mean, hunting things like that is not right. Sorry, these are my friends.
Yeah, I thought you said you wanted a fair fight.
Well, it was, and now they're
mean,
here. But I
wow.
mean, I didn't call them here. They followed me. So you're like, we're not. You aren't under any threat. Trust me.
Eden Horseglare.
So we're not fighting.
We don't need to. No.
How much for the horse?
The horse is my friend.
Deepoof.
And
Just fall to the ground.
Yeah, Art and Spark and Dulcar just out of the ground.
Yeah.
Plop to the ground. Yep.
Well, they kind of all would plop, I think, at that. Like, it's just this.
It's the cartoon thing of like she poofs, they hang in the air for a second, and then
You look very impressive, super intimidating.
They all start running midair.
yeah.
Flump, crunk.
But they don't fall until they look down and realize they're.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay,
Ludicrous
well-
doesn't work until we actually look down.
All right, horse, not for sale. That
No.
goblin's toes.
Oh,
If you
doubly
touch
not for sale.
us-
Hey now, and then like a parent will like put his hands up. We're doing a nice conversation.
Listen,
I
I'm
need those
just
to walk.
well, you just need your feet to walk first of all, but
No, they're not for sale.
You and I are doing real well.
not even a
And if
trade.
you-
I got
if
this
you-
really fancy wand here. And he just kind of smiles. He makes direct eye contact with you, parent. He's just got the shit-eating grin on his face. It's just like,
That wand looks familiar.
Yeah, I gave it to him so that he would let the deer go.
Oh. So you're trying to trade back something that was traded to you.
in exchange for some of your toes. Yes.
Those toes are mine. I've already laid claim.
And
What?
Shh. Eden's
And-
like, shh.
oh, so this goblin's yours then?
No,
Just his toes.
just the toes. Yes.
Oh, you
but
guys have
only
some
sh-
sort of.
Packed
You made-
already. Yes.
He made a deal with you to give him his toes, or
Mm,
give
yes.
him his toes when he died. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
she's
That
got
makes sense.
she's got a very specific kink. It's the way it works.
Oh no, there's
Eden
like
will
a
just
whole
slow turn
Listen,
towards.
goblin toes are a hot commodity even here in the Feywild.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you the purpose for her, for
Mm,
their desire of them.
okay.
In Perrin's head, there's just like this psychic sigh from Eden of just like, I swear to God. But it's just like,
So this is the part where you say we're good, and then I let you go.
Yeah. I guess we're good.
All right. And Perrin will drop concentration on hypnotic pattern. The dogs will come back to life.
And he'll whistle, and as he does, you can see almost like manifesting in front of him this chestnut mare that he hops right on. I don't know what to fucking say. All right, bye. He's just like, I don't know, this is weird. No deals if I see you again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. If I see you again doing shit like this, then it's not going to be as pretty.
You know, I knew you came up behind me, right?
I'm sorry. I missed the part where I said that I cared. So get on your horse, fuck off,
Murder.
and if I catch you around here again, I'll blast your fucking head in.
Make an intimidation check.
Sure.
Yeah.
We gonna fight anyways. Yeah.
24.
He looks at you, then looks at Corvus, who's standing right behind you with his arms crossed. He looks over, and then looks over at Oak and Eden. And Art, he just looks directly at the toes, because, and just nods, and whistles again, and the dogs take off. He takes off into the woods. And out of sight.
Woods.
And I'm going to remove that item from my inventory.
I have questions.
Perrin.
What about? What?
And Perrin will get pelted in the face with just a handful of petals that Aaron that Eden has manifested.
And to confirm, the deer's still like there, but like
The stag is in the vicinity, correct?
like down, or is it like?
No, it just moved out of like a position. It moved into a position where if it felt threatened, it could run. But it stayed within the immediate vicinity. And it's about as this time as the petals are being thrown that you can hear the hoofbeats of the deer walking towards you. And it walks up pretty much into the petals as they're, covering your face.
Yeah.
So when you open your eyes back up, it's the deer almost like forehead of it at your eye level. And it bows very low and very deeply.
That wound might need some tending to. Do we want Finn to maybe help with that?
Or
I might be
I
able
can
to
help.
help too, or you can help.
Yeah, and then I'll walk up and lay hands on it for
Some.
yeah, I don't know, 15?
15? Sure.
Sure.
15 will do. 15's all right. And it seems to close
Perrin
up
will bow.
fairly well.
Yeah.
Art will mimic Perrin.
It will. You then watch as it walks over to a nearby tree, and the side of it, its head, the one antler, it just very forcefully you hear this resounding crack that echoes throughout the space. And it lifts its head back up, one antler missing, the other one on the ground, and it just nods to it and takes off into the forest.
Perrin immediately walks off to it, and then
Like for you gotta hold this thing in two hands, but yeah.
Perrin like double hands the base of it, and just like quick as a whistle, just kind of like spins it around, points it at Art, and
Did you say Avada Kedavra as you pointed it?
yeah, of course, dude.
I didn't
And
really
Art's
work
officially
out.
dead.
Art, Constitution saving throw.
What do you mean? It's just automatic.
He turns to dust. No, I'm kidding. I'm not doing that to him again.
Please no.
No.
Oh, no, I guess we have this to carry around.
Oh, well, okay. I
Why?
would love to study this.
Why not? It's a gift. Gifts are a big thing here, apparently.
Yeah, no, it definitely has some cool magical property, I'm pretty sure. From what I know about these stags, which isn't that much, but there's a reason they're hunted.
Well, then on that front, it could also prove to be very useful in one facet or another, since we're going to very treacherous areas.
Or pulls out a
Perrin
notebook,
just kind of like waddles over to Art.
starts writing.
Is this magical?
Well, if you give me a little time to take a look at it, I might be able to see what I can ascertain.
I kiss him on the cheek. Yeah. Take your
Puts my
time.
notebook.
I'm not sure how that helps with the process of identifying this, but sure. and Art's gonna spend the next 10 minutes or so trying to identify this.
Sure. This is what is known as the Horn of the Golden Stag. In time, one can attune to this item. If they wish, that item becomes a +1 battle axe, let's say, of their choice. Or I'd say battle axe, or like a really wicked looking, like scythe staff looking thing, that would function similarly to like a quarterstaff. And has some other stuff too, but I'll type that all up and get it to you guys.
There's a lot of interesting potential to this, and I'm gonna relay some of these ideas and concepts to them as to the potential uses of this thing.
A turn to Oak.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of, aside from Eden, you're kind of the biggest person. So it would make sense that someone who could have some heft behind it should wield something like this, eh?
I guess that makes sense. I mean, unless you didn't.
I get angry and use my hands. And also, Art helped me build this, and then Eden will pull out the freaking
The
Morning
flail.
Star flail. And it's kind of important, so. And also, it looks good on you.
Kind of matches your aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. It's a little too cheery for my aesthetic. Like,
With all your pink and flowers, you think this is too cheery?
what does aesthetic mean? As it becomes clear that Eden was just copying whatever word Perrin used.
Which reminds me, back to my questions. What did you mean that you owned my toes, and
I
why
was
did that
lying.
make me get hot in the face? And what do you mean kinks? What are you talking about?
Well, one, I told them this so that they would get off of your toes. I don't really know what kinks are. I assume it's probably like dirty things because Perrin
Corvus
made the
starts
joke about it.
pushing Eden towards the direction we were going originally. Just hands on shoulder back, and is like, we're walking and we're walking.
As you guys
Are kinks
begin,
something you do before taking a bath? I don't understand.
I don't know what any of this means. Can you please say it in Sylvan? It's like Eden's.
Perrin, roll me a d20, please, as you continue on your way.
Don't mess this up, Perrin.
to.
Orchid will
I
explain it in
need-
Sylvan.
And then Eden
I
will
need-
turn blush and then be glaring even harder than they did before.
I need to blame Taryn for whatever happens.
They know the story, okay?
No, they know the story they
Natural
want to
7.
happen.
That's a natural 7. The rest of your
Natural
day,
7.
the rest of your day, thankfully, continues without issue. And as night begins to fall, you notice that the trees are starting to become slightly more bare. They still retain that kind of grayish coloration to them, but it seems that whatever foliage is on them is slowly dying as you're moving closer and closer.
Clarify. You mean actually like the dying, not like receding, but withering.
Like withering, correct. The wither, like they're losing their leaves. Yes.
Like we're approaching fall.
Like we're approaching fall, correct. Yeah. Like
Okay.
it went from being like on the spring end, I will preface this. On the spring end, it did tend to look more bloomy. And when you were in the heart of it, it just looked like a normal forest. And then when you were on the, when you're getting on this far end that now borders what you'd imagine to be the autumn court, it now is beginning to resemble fall and take on that visage.
Do any of the tree structures look similar to the tree structure in the Briar? Eden is looking for this. The types of trees. That's because we're Eden's train of thought, if you want to know where Eden is going with this as we approach,
Yeah.
is Eden is trying to decipher things.
Um,
So
Is it
we're looking
deciduous
for
or a
con-
conifer?
what
we're
I'll
looking for context clues.
so what I'll give you is that the heart of the graying, what you've been traveling in for the past day, has been the most similar to the Briar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My brain hurts. Okay.
But as you are now reaching the edge of the graying that borders the Autumn Court, you begin to see off in the distance this almost semi-overcast. The sky is now becoming this like semi-overcast kind of gray. And it's light kind of drizzle, autumn rain. In the far, far sight of your vision, you can see looming high upon a hill, a castle. And only Corvus, because Corvus can see into the future and a bajillion years away. No, I'm kidding. Corvus doesn't see shit. And only Corvus makes direct eye contact with the Skeleton King inside that castle. What? No. But as you guys are making your way out of the graying and into the Autumn Court, that is where we will end tonight's session. As we see and wait, or as we will wait to see what welcomes you into this new court next week. Thank Taryn, if you were rolling Umbral Oculus dice, for rolling high on all of those. A 15 or higher got you something good. A 5 or below got you something bad. And nobody rolled anything yet. The good news is these charts that I'm using will roll over into the next time you go to the graying. So it'll just, listen, it'll just
I
be
want to roll a
progressive.
1 now.
Listen, yeah, I love that shit. But without further ado, we're gonna go around the horn. Everybody say their piece, and then we will call it for tonight. Starting with Taryn.
Hey everybody, my name is Taryn, also known as Valwork across the socials and in the chat. Generally creative human, TTRPG player, and GM, Eldritch Entity, and dice maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. You can catch me here on alternating Tuesdays doing this whole shindig. You can catch me on Mondays, not this next Monday, but following Mondays for Fallout over on the Modifius Twitch, where I play Sport, who's totally just a vault dweller, and nothing else. And then on the 22nd of this month, we will be back at Curiosity, which is also set in Ecriom, and it's a campaign of kitties. It's Kikins. And they're getting closer to big dangerous things, and they may or may not have to save the world at the same time as the Barefoot Bandits are doing their thing. So it'll be really fun to see when you pick up on what they're doing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm working on Lior, making dice from Rebel Templars, all that stuff. Yeah. Moving on.
I guess that's me next, because again we're in new orders and I'm getting used to things. Hi everyone, Eddie, known across the socials and across the interwebs as Discount Bard, humble Vivilian vagabond, spreading chaos and shenanigans wherever I go. I am here every other Tuesday as our lovely little Butterball art. When I'm not here, you can find me across the interwebs, typically either on TikTok or on Twitch. I do my own variety content on twitch.tv/discountbard, usually on Thursdays, sometimes on Tuesdays, depending on if I have the time or the mental capacity over the course of the week. And it's about as random as whether or not I can actually manage to remember where I left something that I set down 5 minutes ago. And yeah, so you can follow my antics on twitch.tv/discountbard or anywhere else on the interwebs at discountbard. I'm also on TikTok. Sometimes I do funny things, sometimes I do insightful things. So follow my antics, see what I'm up to. It's crazy. Passing it along.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. My name is Renee Beauregard. I'm one half of Dragon Rock RPG Design. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Dragon Rock RPG and Instagram at Dragon Rock RPG Design. We just dropped our paladins. They're available. go and get them. They're pay what you want, which means technically they're free. But if you want to give us money, we appreciate it. It's not necessary though. Just give us a rating and review. We'll be just as happy with that. Paladins are so exciting for me because I never play them, but I know how they work inside and out. So if you want to play something like the Oath of Wrath, the Oath of the Godless, or the Oath of Whimsy, which is like our paladin bard combination thing, it's a lot of fun. Check that out very soon. Once Daniel gets back from him being away from the city, we're gonna get cracking on clerics, so you'll get 4 new clerics probably next month to next month and a half. So that's very exciting. Other than that, that's it for me. Job's a bit weird. Passing it along.
Hello, I'm Lizzie Donahue. You can find me on social media at the Lizzie LD. But mostly you will find me here on alternating Tuesdays at the Red Heron, which is a wonderful place to be. And what more do you need, really? So I'll pass right along.
Oh no.
Oh,
I guess it means me. Hey there, it's Jaden King. You can find me on all social media at It's Jaden King. I do all kinds of things RPG related, including going to castles and running games. And possibly my favorite thing that I'm doing right now with my partner and girlfriend Beth DeBard is TTRPG University, where we provide courses, information, and resources for game masters, players, and publishers alike across the board. And right now, we are currently selling for our next Write Your Own TTRPG Adventure course line. It is a cohort where we get a bunch of students together and we help you craft an adventure and get the skills you need to get it done. From all of our courses with videos, we have handouts, workbooks, worksheets, video tutorials, guides, conversations, weekly check-ins, and we have, well, Beth and I will be helping you throughout the communication, and we have just finished, we're about to finish our first one where we have almost 20 students who have gone through it and are almost done with their adventure, and we have 20 seats for this next one where we will help make it happen. And best of all, those that go through the course, personally trained by myself, Beth, and some people we bring as guest speakers, meaning when we do future projects, we already have part of your portfolio in our file. We showcase some of your writing on our stuff. We do bundles. TTRPG University gives you the chance to level up your gaming. So join me in helping you get it done. Thank you.
Get it, yo. Yeah, and I'm Logan, the innkeeper here. On Friday, I'm gonna be playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 because that's coming out, and I'm super excited for that. So that's gonna be pretty much what I'm doing Friday, and then after that, I'll be out until Monday. But summer school ends on Thursday, and my summer can officially begin for a whole 2.5 weeks before I gotta go back and do teaching stuff again. So it's great. But yeah, friends, we're gonna go raid out and go check out our friends over at the Initiative Order. The wonderful Pluto is running just in time their Dresden's Fate game. So definitely go spread the love. Watch them play their games and tell their stories. And until next time, my friends, stay safe and adventure awaits. Bye, y'all.
Good night, everybody.